The invitation arrived without warning. No courier. No message ping. No warning protocol. 1 second I was in my cramped engineering bay aboard the civilian freighter Atlas Run, elbow deep in a failing coolant regulator. The next, every console flickered, every system froze, and the air itself shimmered like heat above desert sand. Then the symbol appeared. A burning sigil suspended midair. Not projected. Not holographic. Something else. Ancient. Alive. And unmistakably imperial. My heart dropped. Every human who had even skimmed galactic history knew that crest. The Zyraen Empire. The most powerful, most feared, and most unpredictable civilization in known space. And they had just contacted me. A nobody. A mechanic. A human. The sigil pulsed once. Then a voice followed, smooth, layered, almost musical, but carrying a weight that pressed down on my bones. Human designation, Elias Varn. I froze. That wasn't public data. That wasn't accessible through normal channels. How? I started. Your presence is requested, the voice continued, ignoring me completely, at the royal court of Zyraen Prime. My hands went cold. Requested? That word did not exist in the Zyraen vocabulary. They summoned. They commanded. They conquered. They did not request. This must be a mistake, I muttered. The sigil flared brighter. It is not. Silence stretched. My mind raced through every possibility: smuggling accusation, espionage suspicion, mistaken identity, or worse, experimentation. The Zyraen were known for their fascination with biological anomalies. Humans qualified. Failure to comply, the voice added softly, will be interpreted as refusal. That wasn't a threat. It didn't need to be. Because everyone knew what happened to those who refused the Zyraen Empire. They disappeared. Entire species had vanished that way. The sigil faded. The ship systems flickered back to life. And I was left staring at empty air, my pulse hammering like a reactor about to breach. One thing was certain. My life had just ended. Chapter 2. Arrival at the Edge of Power. Zyraen Prime was not a planet. It was a monument. A world carved into perfection, orbiting a dying star that burned with a cold violet glow. The entire system radiated an unnatural precision, as if reality itself had been bent into submission. And in orbit, the fleet. Hundreds of warships, silent and waiting, each one capable of erasing civilizations. My shuttle drifted between them like dust passing through giants. No one spoke. The pilot, an automated Zyraen drone, didn't even acknowledge me. I was cargo. Nothing more. As we descended, the surface came into view. Cities of impossible geometry. Spiraling towers that defied gravity. Bridges that connected nothing, and yet held everything together. And at the center of it all, the palace. A structure so vast it looked like a continent forged into a single entity. That's where I was going. That's where I would probably die. The shuttle docked without a sound. The door opened, and the air hit me. Cool. Thin. Charged with something I couldn't explain. Then they appeared. The Zyraen Guard. Tall. Elegant. Terrifying. Their forms were humanoid, but elongated, refined, almost too perfect. Their eyes glowed faintly, like distant stars. Their armor wasn't metal. It flowed like liquid glass, reshaping itself with every movement. One stepped forward. Human Elias Varn. I swallowed. That's me. Follow. No emotion. No curiosity. Just command. I followed. Through endless halls. Through chambers lined with beings from dozens of species. Envoys, ambassadors, prisoners, maybe all three. And then, the throne room. The doors opened slowly, and the universe seemed to hold its breath. Chapter 3. The Queen of Silence. She sat at the center. The alien queen. The ruler of the Zyraen Empire. She was not what I expected. Not monstrous. Not grotesque. But not human either. She was something beyond both. Tall, radiant, her form shifting subtly as if she existed in more than one state at once. Her eyes held galaxies, literal galaxies, swirling slowly in their depths. Power radiated from her. Not metaphorically. Physically. It pressed against my skin, my lungs, my thoughts. And beside her, the court. Dozens of nobles, generals, advisors, each more dangerous than the last. Every single one of them staring at me. A human. Standing in the heart of the most powerful empire in existence. I felt very, very small. Kneel, one of the guards whispered. I hesitated for half a second. Then I did. Because I wasn't stupid. The queen spoke. Her voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Rise, human Elias Varn. I stood, slowly, carefully, trying not to look directly at her. Failing. Her gaze locked onto mine, and for a moment, everything stopped. I couldn't move, couldn't think. It felt like she was reading me. Every memory, every fear, every mistake. Then, she tilted her head. Curious. Interesting, she murmured. The court shifted. Uneasy. Zyraen did not express curiosity lightly. Your presence here, she continued, is not of my command. My stomach dropped. Not hers? Then whose? A ripple moved through the chamber. Even the nobles seemed confused. Then, a small voice echoed from behind the throne. Mine. Chapter 4. The Hug That Broke Protocol. She stepped forward. The princess, smaller than the queen but carrying the same impossible presence. Her form shimmered with youthful energy, her eyes brighter, more alive. And yet, something was different. Something fragile. Something lonely. She walked past the guards. Past the nobles. Past the queen herself. Straight toward me. The entire court tensed. No, someone whispered. Stop her, another hissed. But no one moved. Because no one dared. The princess stopped in front of me. She looked up, studied my face, and then, she smiled. Not a political smile. Not a royal gesture. A real one. Warm. Genuine. Human. And before anyone could react, she stepped forward and hugged me. The world exploded into chaos. Gasps, shouts, weapons activating, energy crackling through the air. The guards surged forward. Stop. The queen's voice cut through everything. Silence fell instantly. But it wasn't calm. It was the kind of silence that comes before war. The princess was still holding me. Her arms wrapped around my waist. Her head resting against my chest. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Didn't dare. Because I had just realized something horrifying. In Zyraen culture, physical contact, especially with royalty, was forbidden. It was sacred, ritualized, controlled. And I had just been embraced by the heir to the empire. Without permission. Without protocol. Without precedent. I was dead. I was absolutely, completely dead. The princess pulled back slightly, still holding on to me. Then she looked up at the queen and said the words that would shake the galaxy. He's the one. Chapter 5. The beginning of a crisis. The court erupted. Not in noise, but in tension. You could feel it. Like a storm about to tear reality apart. The queen stood. Slowly. Gracefully. Terrifyingly. Every being in the chamber lowered their gaze. Except me. Because I was too stunned to do anything. What do you mean? The queen asked. Her voice was calm. Too calm. The princess tightened her grip on my arm. I felt him, she said. Across the void. That made no sense. None. Impossible, one of the advisors snapped. Humans lack the neural. Silence, the queen said. The advisor shut up instantly. The princess continued. He doesn't break, she said softly. He doesn't bend. I blinked. I had no idea what she was talking about. The queen's gaze returned to me. Sharper now. More focused. Explain, she commanded. My brain scrambled. I don't know what she means, I stammered. Which was completely true. I'm just an engineer. The court murmured. Disbelief. Contempt. Confusion. The princess shook her head. No, she said. You're not. She stepped closer again. Her eyes locked onto mine. And for a moment, I felt it. Something deep. Something ancient. Something that had nothing to do with biology or logic. A connection. Then she said it. You survived the resonance. The room went cold. Every Zyraen froze. The queen's expression changed. Just slightly. But enough. Impossible, she whispered. Now I was really confused. The what? No one answered. Because at that exact moment, the alarm started. Chapter 6. War ignites. The palace shook. Not violently, but enough. Enough to tell you something was very, very wrong. A guard rushed in. Krillian fleets detected. The court exploded into motion. Orders. Commands. Energy signatures flaring. The queen didn't move. What are their numbers? She asked. Massive, the guard replied. They've breached outer defenses. My heart pounded. The Krillians. Another empire. Rivals to the Zyraen. And apparently, they had just decided now was the perfect time to attack. The queen's gaze snapped back to the princess. Then to me. Realization dawned. They felt it, she said quietly. The princess nodded. They always do. I swallowed. Felt what? No one answered. Because the truth was worse than anything I could imagine. The princess stepped back from me. Reluctantly. They're coming for him, she said. Silence. Heavy. Dangerous. The queen's eyes narrowed. Then they will not have him. And just like that, I became the center of a galactic war. Chapter 7, The Truth of Humanity. They moved me to a secure chamber. Not a prison. But not freedom either. The princess stayed with me, sitting across from me, watching, studying. You should be afraid, she said. I am, I replied. She tilted her head. No, she said softly. Not enough. Fair point. What is going on? I asked. Why are they attacking? Why do you think I'm important? She was quiet for a long moment. Then, because you are broken. I blinked. Thanks. She shook her head. Not damaged. Not weak. Broken, in the way reality cannot shape you. That made even less sense. She leaned forward. There is a force, she said, that binds all advanced species. We call it resonance. It allows us to connect, to influence, to control. My stomach dropped. Control? She nodded. The Zyraen Empire is built on it. That explained a lot. The Krillians use it too, she continued. Every powerful civilization does. And humans? She smiled. You don't. Silence. You mean, we're immune? Not just immune, she said. Invisible. My mind reeled. That's why, I whispered. That's why you couldn't. Influence you, she finished. Yes. I leaned back, trying to process. So I'm what? A blind spot. You are a weapon, she said. And suddenly, everything made sense. Chapter 8. The choice that changes everything. The war escalated fast. Faster than anything I'd ever seen. The Krillians weren't just attacking. They were hunting. For me. Entire fleets clashed above the planet. Energy weapons tore through space. Ships exploded. Worlds trembled. All because of one thing. A human. Me. The queen summoned me again. This time there was no ceremony. No court. Just her. And the princess. You understand now, the queen said. I nodded. I think so. You represent a threat, she continued. To every empire. Because I can't be controlled. Because you can't be seen, she corrected. That was worse. We can hide you, she said. Protect you. I met her gaze. And then what? She didn't answer. Because we both knew. Nothing. I would spend my life as a secret. A tool. A weapon. The princess stepped forward. He should choose. The queen's eyes narrowed. Choice is inefficient. It's human, the princess replied. Silence. Then the queen looked back at me. Very well, she said. What do you want, Elias Varn? I took a deep breath, looked at the two most powerful beings in the galaxy, and made the only choice that made sense. Put me in a ship. The queen blinked. What? Let them come, I said. All of them. The princess smiled. The queen did not. That is suicide. Maybe, I said. But it's also a message. What message? I grinned. The human one. Chapter 9, The Human Strategy. They gave me a ship. Not a warship. Not a flagship. Just a small, fast vessel. With one advantage. Me. The Krillians found me within minutes. Of course they did. I didn't run. I didn't hide. I flew straight at them. Alone. Their fleet surrounded me. Massive. Overwhelming. Unstoppable. A voice echoed through my ship. Surrender the anomaly. I laughed. No. They fired. Energy beams tore through space. But I moved. Not faster. Not stronger. Just unpredictable. Because they couldn't read me. Couldn't anticipate me. Couldn't feel me. I was invisible to their most powerful weapon. Their minds. Their resonance. And for the first time, they were blind. I flew through their formation. Chaos spreading behind me. Ships colliding. Commands failing. Control breaking down. Because their entire system depended on something I didn't have. And couldn't be affected by. Then I transmitted one message. To everyone. Zyraen. Krillian. Every listening ear in the galaxy. You built your empires on control, I said. On connection. On power. I smiled. But you forgot something. Silence. Then. Humans don't play by your rules. Chapter 10. The End of Control. The war didn't end that day. But it changed. Forever. The Krillians retreated. Not defeated, but afraid. The Zyraen watched. Carefully. Cautiously. Because they understood now. Humanity wasn't powerful. Not in the traditional sense. But we were something worse. Uncontrollable. Unpredictable. Free. The queen stood at the edge of her throne room, looking out at the stars. The princess beside her. And him? The queen asked. The princess smiled softly. He's not ours. Pause. He never was. Far away. I flew through open space. No empire. No control. No chains. Just freedom. And for the first time, the galaxy didn't feel so big. Because now, it knew something new. Something dangerous. Something human. We weren't the strongest. We weren't the smartest. But we were the one thing no empire could ever truly control. And that was enough to start a crisis. And maybe, one day, end them all.